Hello guys, I'm Roosevelt, and in this video I'll be showing you how I designed this sports flyer here in Adobe Photoshop. So without wasting much time, let's get started. So I have my worksheet here, and the size of my worksheet is 1080 by 1350. So the 1350 will be the, how do you call it? The 1350 will be this side, and then will be the height, and then the 1080 will be the length over here. So now let's add a guide. So go to view, guide, and select new guide layout. Over here, set the left margin to 100 and set the right margin to 100 and select OK. Let's add a solid color. So click here and select solid color. Then let's give it a color code of 9F121C and select OK. After doing that, let's import our background image. Press Ctrl T and resize. Let's change the blend mode of this background from normal to, I think screen is okay. So let's go from normal to screen. Okay. Now let's import one of the stadium image over here. Press Ctrl T and let's resize it. I think something like this, okay. Let's drag it down. So let's push it down this way. Now add a layer mask. Select your gradient tool. Make sure the foreground color is black, and then also make sure that for this side it starts from black and then ends in white. Hold down the shift key, left click and hold, and then drag down to fade the top part. Now let's change the blend mode from normal to multiply. So this is okay. Now let's import the second stadium image, and then press okay, let's push it up. So I think something like this, okay. Press Ctrl T and resize it this way, something like this, okay. And then let's push it up. Yeah, this is okay. Perfect. Add the layer mask to this one too as well. Select your gradient to make sure the foreground color is black. Make sure this side starts from black and then ends with white. Hold down the shift key. This time around, be fading from the bottom to the top. So hold down the shift key, left click and hold it, then drag up to fade it. I think that's too much, so let's try something. Let's try out something like this. It's okay. Now let's change its blend mode from normal to multiply it as well. I think that's okay. Now let's import our model's image. So just drag this image here, press Ctrl T and then resize it just a little bit and drag it down. Something like this is okay. Yeah, okay, let me increase the size just a little and then drag it down. Cool. So something like this is okay for me. What I'll do is I'll add a layer mask to this image, then select my gradient tool. Make sure that my foreground color is black and this side too starts from black and ends with white. And then I'll hold down the shift key, left click and hold, and then drag up to fade it. But that's too much. So left click and hold down shift, left click and hold, and then drag up. So let's fade it up a little. This too much. So something like this, okay. But I think we have to enlarge. Oh, okay. This is okay. Yeah, let's maintain this particular one over here. So after doing that, let's add a curves adjustment layer. So click here and select curves to bring out the curves adjustment layer. So over here, left click and hold this side and then drag up a little bit. Left click and hold this side and then drag it down a little bit. Then left click and hold here and drag it up. Something like this is okay. Yeah, before and after. But then let's clip it onto our model. So I'll just select this side to clip it onto our model. So it will affect only Van Dijk's image over here. I think that's great. Let's add some brightness to the outline of our module over here. We will click here and select brightness or contrast. Over here, set the brightness to a value of 58 and then set the contrast to a value of 38. And with that one too, let's clip it onto our image so that it affects only Van Dijk's image over here. I think, yeah, this is okay. So now what we'll be doing is, with the layer mask selected, press Ctrl I to invert it. Select your brush tool, then let's interchange this thing over here. So click here to interchange it. Make sure that the foreground color is white. Use your left arrow key to reduce the size of our brush and then paint over the edge. I think something like this is okay. So just gently paint over the edge, paint like this, drag this down, paint over here, just paint over the edge. So something like this, okay. Let's do the same thing for this side too as well. Paint over the edge. Perfect. So I think this is okay. Now when we turn this off, you can see that actually it has given some kind of contrast to our image. We've brightened the edge of our image. So this is the before and then here's the after. Before and then after. Nice. So now what we do is, let's import another image. So select this, select the second stadium image that we imported. So make sure that this layer is active. And then let's drag in let's drag in the second image. This okay. Press Ctrl T and then resize. Okay, I think now it's too much. So let me reduce the size a little bit. Okay, let me increase it. This is okay. Yeah, so this is okay for me. Let me reposition it well. Yeah, this is okay. Then what I'll do is, I'll add a layer mask to it. Select my gradient tool. Make sure that the foreground color is black, but now it's set to white. So just click it to switch the colors. So now it's set to black. So hold down the shift key, left click and hold, and then drag up to fade the bottom part like this. Let me fade it a little bit. I think that's too much. So let's go with something like this. Yeah, this looks great. Now let's add a camera raw filter to it. So with our image, our second image selected, I mean the image of the model, that's Van Dijk's image, go to filter and select camera raw. In camera raw, under the light with exposure, let's set the exposure to something like let's go with I think okay, so let's go with an exposure of minus 0.10. Then let's set the contrast to 26. Let's set highlight to minus 59. Let's set the shadows to 41. Let's set shadows to 41. Let's set whites to 1. And then let's set the blacks to I think minus 9 is okay. Now let's go down to colors. Okay, so under color, let's set the vibrance to 20. Let's set the saturation also to 4. Let's go to effect. Under effect, let's set the texture to 29, and then let's set the clarity to 10. Let's move on to detail. Under detail, let's set the sharpening to 46. Let's set sharpening to 46. Then let's set the noise reduction to 9 and select OK. Perfect. So I think this is looking great. So here's the before and then here's after. I really like how it's turning out. So I think we can continue. So after adding the camera raw effect, let's add a curves adjustment. So click here and select curves. Over here, let's clip it onto this particular image over here. So click here to clip it onto it. So over here, what we do is select, left click and hold this and then drag it up just a little bit, and then left click and hold this and then drag it up. This something like this is okay. Something like this is okay. So it adds some kind of it brightens the image a little bit. So let's reduce the opacity. Let's go, yeah. So 60 is okay. 60 is okay for us. Now let's import the last image. We will import it on top of this particular image over here. So it has to be on top of this curves adjustment layer because we've clipped this curves adjustment layer onto our image over here. So I'll drag my model here. This okay. Then push in here a little. This side is okay. So press Ctrl T and then resize it a little bit. So something like this looks great. So let's go with this. So we've aligned the top. I think let me reduce it a little bit. So I think something like this is okay now. Yeah, perfect. And then with this image, you have to add some effects to it. So let's make sure that the layer is selected. Go to filter and select camera raw. Over here under light, let's set the contrast to 8. Let's set highlight to -70. So -70. And then let's set the whites to 14. And let's set the blacks to -21. So -21. Now let's go to colors. Under color, let's set the vibrance to a figure of, let's say, 20. Let's set vibrance to 20, and then let's set the saturation to 2. Let's set saturation to 2. Let's go to effect. Under effect, set texture to 12 and set clarity to 15. Set clarity to 1.5. Now let's go to detail. Under detail, set sharpening to 39, and then set the noise reduction to 11. I think this is okay. Let's see. So here's before, here's the after. Now select OK. Nice. So here's the before and here's after. Now after doing that, let's add a curves adjustment layer to it. So select this side and then click on curves. Under the curves, let's click and hold this side and then drag it up a little bit. Something like this is okay. So let's create some kind of a weird S shape over here. Left click and hold this side and then drag it down. Yeah, this okay. Then left click and hold this side and drag it up. So something like this is okay. And once you're done, clip it onto this particular image. So here is it. I think we have to reduce the opacity a little bit. Yeah, so this one is looking good. Now, what we'll do is, with this particular layer selected, create an empty layer. Then let's set the color to red. So let me pick this red. Now that one is dark. So let's select this red over here. The color code is B5262F. So after setting the color to red, select your brush tool and use your right bracket key to increase the size of your brush. So let's increase the size of our brush. I think something like this is okay for me. So I'll just left click once. Nice. No. I think I have to increase the. Let me select the brush tool again, then increase the opacity over here to 100. And then just left click once. Perfect. Now what we'll do is we'll change the blend mode from normal to linear dodge to brighten up the back. I think something like this is okay. So yeah. So now press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Press Ctrl T to resize it. And then place one here. Let's place one here and then reduce the opacity a little bit. Let's reduce the opacity a little bit. So let's see. Yeah. Add a layer mask and then select your brush tool and reduce the brush size a little and then clean it up. So I think this is okay. Press Ctrl T to duplicate it. Delete the layer mask. Delete this layer mask. And then place it somewhere here. And then increase the opacity. Increase the opacity like this. And then add a layer mask once again. Select your brush tool. And then clean it up a little bit. So something like this is okay. Yeah, nice. So let's duplicate it one last and press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Right click here and then delete the layer mask. Now press Ctrl T to resize it a little bit and then drag it here. After doing that, add a layer mask, select your brush tool. So the shortcut key for the brush tool is B, and then use the left bracket key to reduce the size and just clean it up a little bit. So something like this is okay. So I would like to clean up this image a little bit. I think the logo is showing over here. So, but before I do that, I'll select these 4 layers, press Ctrl G to group them. So I can name them light. So, right. So you know that this group contains the red light over here. Nice. So let me search for this particular image. So here is it. I'll go to it. I'll select its layer mask and then select my brush tool. Make sure I'm painting with black. No. Let's change it to white and then let's clean it up. So yeah, something like this is okay. And then for this side, let's change it the foreground color to black. And then let's clean this side up a little bit. I think that's too much. So let me reduce the brush size and then reduce the opacity too and clean up this side. So it will look like the standard charter or charted is at the back of his tie, his right tie. Yeah. This okay. So let's see. Now that we are done, let's select. We are done with our importing our image. Let's select all these layers. Yeah, select these layers and press Ctrl G. Let's rename it footballer. So footballer. Yeah, something like this is okay. We know that this group contains Van Dijk's image and then the light image. So that's looking great. I think we have to add some kind of a color lookup to it. So let's add some effect, a little color effect to it. So to do that, click here and select color lookup. Over here, let's add a soft warming look. So select this one, soft underscore warming dot look, to add some kind of color effect to it. This is looking great. So after doing that, let's import our effect pack, and all these resources and then the effect pack will be in the description below. I'll add a link to it so you can download it and also follow along. So this is our effect pack. I'll press Ctrl C to copy, go back to my main worksheet and then press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. So now here's the before and here's after adding the effect pack. Looking really nice. Now let's select all these layers and press Ctrl G to group them. Now press Ctrl Shift Alt E to press them together. Ctrl Shift Alt E to merge all the layers into one particular image. Right click and then convert to smart objects. So after doing this, you can turn off the visibility of this group. Now let's convert. Okay, we've already converted the image into a smart object. So we go to filter and then select noise and select add noise. So over here, give it a noise amount of 2% and make sure that the distribution is on uniform, and also make sure that the monochromatic is checked and select OK. After doing that, let's go to filter and select camera raw filter. So over here under color, let's set the temperature to +7. So set temperature to 7 and set the vibrance to 2, and let's set the saturation also to 2. Now let's move on to effects. So under effects, let's give it a vignette of -10. Let's give it a vignette of -10. So this is okay. Let's go down to detail. So under detail, let's give it a sharpening of 30, and then let's give it a noise reduction of 8. Nice. Then click on OK. So now this is the for and yeah. Let's continue. So after adding a camera raw filter to this particular image over here, what I'll do next is that I'll add a texture image. So let's add our texture image. So we just drag the texture image over here, press Ctrl T and place your cursor at the corner, hold down the shift key, left click and hold, and then drag to rotate it. So something like this, okay. After rotating it, then enlarge it, so resize it to something like this is okay. Once you've resized the image, let's change its blend mode from normal to, let's say, lighting. So let's try lighting. So let's change from normal to lighting. Nice, that's perfect. Now after changing its blend mode, what we'll do is we'll add a curves adjustment layer to it, push this side up, left click and hold, and then drag, darken it a little bit. I think something like this is okay. Yeah, something like this is okay. I think it's a bit too much, so let's try and then let's adjust it a little bit. So okay, let's clip it onto our texture. Then let's reduce the opacity of our texture. So yeah, something like this is okay. Let's go with 50. So let me set the opacity to 50%. Okay, this is looking nice. Then after setting the opacity to 50%, select all these layers and press Ctrl J. Let's press Ctrl J to group it and then name it Virgil. I would like us to add some kind of blue tint color to our flyer. So what I'll do is I'll open this group and then select the blues and push it up just a little bit. It doesn't have to be that much, just some slight blue color. Yeah, I think this is okay. Now let's close our group. Now let's import our logo. So let me close this. Let's go back and import the logo value. Press Ctrl T and then resize it. So before I place it here, I'll draw out another guide and place it somewhere here. I think this is okay. This is okay. Then let's position the logo somewhere here. Yeah, nice. Now that we've added our logo, let's group it and name it logo. So we know that this group contains our logo. Now select the type tool. Make sure that let's set it to black for now. Select the type tool and then let's add his name. So let's first write out Virgil. So let's go with Virgil. Press Ctrl T and then resize it. Let's open our character panel. To find the character panel, just go to Window and select Character, and then it will appear over here. To under the character panel, let's set the font to let's give the font American. American Captain Rebel is okay. Then let's change its color from black to white. Set the font size, like the font size to 58, and then let's set this size to -5. Let's close it a little bit. Now place it somewhere here. So in a way, with this image, the leg actually directs you to his name. That's the main reason why we are placing his name over here. That this leg will direct the viewer's eye to his name over here. So after adding his name Virgil, press Ctrl J to duplicate it, and then let's add his other name, that's Van Dijk. So let's go with this. Yep. Press Ctrl T and then resize it, drag it down. Let's set the size to 9. Okay, let's set it to 7. 7 is okay. And then let's set this size to 1260. Perfect. 1250, and then let me increase the size. So something like this is okay. Perfect. So now we have his name as Virgil Van Dijk. Let me drag this one down. Select these two layers and then drag them down. Press Ctrl G and then name them empty. This stands for main text. We have our main text over here. Then just drag it down. Let's place it here, somewhere here. Let me turn off the guides and then let's yeah, So let's push the logo up a little bit. Bring back the guides and then place it here. Select the main text and drag it down. Press Ctrl and then let's resize the main text again. I think something like this is okay for us. Now we have our flyer ready. Okay, so guys, this is how to design this particular sports flyer in Adobe Photoshop. If you like this video and then you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Also like, comment and share with others.